G'day diners, and welcome back to another edition of the Cooking Zone of the Doomstead Diner. And we are continuing now with our production and then canning of liver pate. And I presented the basic elements of that in the first video, and as originally planned, I should be cooking right now in the second video, but no, I got the inspiration that I should go into my preps and add some sausage to this, because I knew somewhere in there I had some good hot sausage that would spice up the meal, or spice up the pate. And so I went digging through the freezer, and in fact I amazingly found it. And it is a package of Louisiana brand hot beef link sausage, made by the Alaska Sausage Company. That's actually the Alaska Sausage and Seafood Company, but whatever. Anyhow, so I yanked it out of the freezer and defrosted it, and the amazing thing, if you look closely in the video, you'll see that the sell-by date is July 7th of 2008. It's one of the first preps that I bought. And if you can't see that, I've got some stills that you'll be able to make it out. It's one of the first preps I bought once I became aware of collapse and started stocking up on stuff. And, it's just been buried in the freezer, and it's actually survived one move from one place to another with me in a cooler. And now it's going to finally get used after a decade, and we're going to find out, if it's still any good, right? It's pre-cooked, and it's professionally vacuum sealed, so I am pretty confident that this sausage is still okay to help flavor up my pate. So let's do the opening ceremony. Get the knife in there. I don't want to carve up the sausage at the same time that I'm carving up the plastic wrap. There we go. And once again, you're dealing with a cripple here. I'm trying to be careful enough not to turn my own fingers into mincemeat while I do this. You should always cut away from you if possible, and you should think about your positioning of your hands when you're cutting, especially with a sharp knife. And if you are careful, you'll do the whole process without hurting yourself. And I seem to have succeeded with that so far. So they're coming out of the plastic packaging, and I'm only going to use two of them. The other two I'm going to save for a spaghetti sauce that I plan on making as another project somewhat later. But two of these in this pate will be quite enough, I believe. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see about slitting them open. Now they're cooked already. These are pre-cooked sausages, and normally if you were going to add sausage to your pate, you would use raw sausage, fresh. And, you know, that probably would be somewhat better. But the deal is here that raw sausage probably won't keep so long. And, God, getting the skin off is tough. And it's not going to, you certainly, you know, keeping raw sausage in the freezer for 10 years, no. Even I wouldn't do that. Alright, let's get that off. There we go. And the other aspect of this is that if I was using raw sausage, I would be doing a little bit different cooking order. As it is, the livers and the onions are going to go in to the pan first to sizzle up and get cooked. The sausage here will go in last because it's already cooked. It doesn't need to spend more time heating up in the oil and so forth. So it'll go in the end, just basically to warm up. And another thing is, if it was raw sausage, I wouldn't be slicing it this way. I'd just kind of, you know, crumble it. And I'd probably do it right in the pan. But this stuff is, you know, pretty hard, you know, as it goes. And I want it to go in the food processor easily and process up with everything else. So I'm gonna, you know, just cut it into some slices that will go in with the liver and the onions and the cream cheese and the butter, and to blend all up into the pate. And I'm actually considering adding another ingredient here, which I'll leave it a mystery for the moment, because I'm not sure I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do those guys off camera. So when you're making pate, you've got to you know, consider all your ingredients and the amounts and so forth. One of the reasons for adding the sausage here is because this sausage, as I said, is pre-cooked. But not only that, it has a whole bunch of different preservatives in it. I don't know if you looked at the label carefully, but, you know, well, there's a whole bunch of different ones. And I'm going to can this stuff, and having the preservatives in there is going to help to keep the pate from going bad. And, you know, the longer you keep it, because you know, once I can it, it's not going to be refrigerated or frozen anymore. It's going to just sit on my prep shelf. And so I want to be as certain as possible that the stuff is still going to be good when I crack open the can. And that test will wait a while, because first I gotta, you know, cook it all up, and then I gotta blend it all up, and then I gotta can it all up, and so forth, before I can drop it on the shelf. And I'm not sure how many cans I'm going to be able to make out of the amount of liver and sausage and onions, so forth, that I'm using. But it's going to be, you know, 2-3 pints maybe, and I'm going to eat a lot of it before it goes into the canning process. I'll eat it fresh. And so I hope you follow along with the video and watch the other parts. In the next part, I swear that I will actually cook the liver and get the rest of it ready. All right, that is all the cooking this time until next time on the Cooking Zone of the Doomstead Diner. Later.